Hey everyone, it's Chili Beans here. Thanks for joining me on this beautiful day. The weather is warm and that's what I love. Me and Sammy are out here today by the creek just for a little bit and to make a nice video. And today we're going to talk about life after the 12 Tribes cult. So I was, a little background. I was there for 8 years, had 2 kids. Husband got kicked out like 3 years before I did. He was asked to leave, and then 3 years later I was asked to leave and go join him. That's a whole other story. But today we're just going to talk about what it was like after I left. And I touched on it a little bit in a couple other of my videos. But I really want to talk about today, like, just how long it took and what I've done to be able to get to where I am now from leaving out of the cult. So I'll just go back to the beginning. So I was asked to leave, and I was not given any money, any direction, we were given clothes, we were given a little bit of food, but we weren't really given much at all. I got a couple of bunk beds and stuff that I brought with me and such, blankets for the kids and all that stuff, but we really didn't have much when we left. Literally no money. I had no resume. I didn't have a college degree. I almost finished college before I joined the cult, but I did not. So I had no degree. I really didn't have anything. I had a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, a lot of guilt, tons of fear, really, ultimately. And it was really, really challenging, especially at first. So we're just gonna wrap this kind of longer story into a shorter one here. So what ended up happening is my parents actually ended up renting me a van so I could go down to be with my husband. That was like the direction that they gave me to do that, to reconnect with him and then learn how to be a family and come back, is what they said. That's how I would be able to come back into the cult. And at that time I wanted to. I never wanted to leave. I think deep down inside me I did, but that's another story as well. But consciously I was like not wanting to go. I was doing all that I could to stay in the group, but I was told to leave. So I ended up getting a van, renting a van, taking it down to where my husband lives. I say that because I don't really believe he is my husband. I mean, we were married once, but that was about it. I didn't really know him enough to really make that commitment, and definitely not at this point will I call him that by choice. So we went down there, spent some time with him. We ended up taking a plane. We actually ended up using someone else's money to buy us all plane tickets to go up to his home state. We lived there for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then I realized that I was in a really bad situation. It was unsafe and it was not sustainable. And so I basically just like left with my 2 kids. I was pregnant at the time, and I left with my 2 kids and I went to the one person's place that I did know in town. The one person. It's a whole other story as well, but I'm not going to get into it. So I went there, and then one of the night I was there for about a week, I think. And one of the nights that I was there, she watched my kids, and I went to an Al-Anon meeting, which is like Alcoholics Anonymous, but for family members of alcoholics. And I went there, and I remember seeing this woman who came in to the room, and I was like kind of struck by her. I was like, oh wow, she seems like a really neat lady. Like, I'd like to get to know her, or something like, I would like to grow into that when I'm older, type of a thing, you know? So in the meeting, we all go around and we share if we want to, and I decided to share, because I always seem to be, I don't mind being vulnerable and honest with things. So I shared, and then the woman who I was struck by said, I want to talk to you after this meeting. And so I said, okay. And so we did that. Anyways, this is a whole other story, but I'm just going to tie it in. She introduced me to this wonderful house that took in women and children who were in difficult situations. So we called them that night, and we got a place, a perfect room for us. We got 2 little bedrooms right next to each other with a little playroom out the side of it. And we ended up staying there for 3 years. 3 years. And that was huge in helping me to reestablish life out here in the world. I was pregnant at the time. I was scared, so scared. I didn't know how to make my own decisions. I did not know how to navigate in the world, especially with kids. It was really challenging. And there was a lot of maturity after college. Like, I was going to graduate from college soon after. But that whole level of independence was not there that I formed. So I was really still in a good degree of dependence on others, the cult, and my parents before that, So anyways, so I was still in that realm. So basically what happened when I was there is I realized at some point that I am not a homeschool teacher. So I got my kids in school, and that was a bit of a struggle because it was a big adaptation for them. I got us in therapy. I got me in therapy first. As years passed, I got my kids in therapy as well. But I've been in therapy ever since. I've had different therapists, but ever since I left the cult, I've been in therapy, which has been extremely helpful. Sometimes you kind of grow out of your therapist, and that's fine, but I've always found someone new who has been like right on the same level as me, so I've been really grateful for that. I was also financially, I remember when $1 was like an investment. Like, I didn't have any money at all. And I didn't know how to make it because I had 2 small kids. They were like 5 and 3, and I was pregnant too. So it was like a bit of a situation. I didn't have to pay rent at that time because I stayed in that place called the Peace House, and it was rent free, which is a huge blessing. But I had to learn how to get food stamps, like SNAP benefits, and I also applied for cash, like TANF. It's like cash assistance from the government, and also healthcare from the government. So those 3 things were like really crucial in being able to help me and my family live a more independent, financially more secure life. So those 3 things were huge, and they have been huge for the past like 5 years. And I'm like getting off of the need for that as much, and I'm going to be more independent this next summer and this next winter, which is really exciting to me because I don't want to stay in a dependent place. That's like one of my ultimate goals, is to be able to be free of like needing other people's financial help. I'm excited to be financially free and be able to make my own decisions with money and put it into places that I believe in and invest in things and use it for our benefits. Anyways, so those are the things that I had. That was really important for me to get on government assistance. And just, a huge part of the time that I've been spending out of there is just remembering what I love to do. Like, I know that I'm going to need to get some financial situations going on for me here. And I've had a lot of ideas, and I haven't really put tons of pressure on myself to do them because I want to make sure that they're like right. But there's been some, like, I was going to be a dental hygienist. I thought about becoming a teacher. I thought about doing like Uber and all those types of things. I had a lot of ideas, but most of them just, didn't pan out, which is totally fine. One that did pan out for me was watching dogs. That's a really great gig. I'm really good with dogs. People always need their dogs walked or watched. So I have been doing that for about 3 years, but that's dwindling down now because that's not my priority. My next situation, I've also taken mentorships. I've done mentorships to help me to like really reevaluate my life, and I almost see being kicked out of that place with nothing. I see it as an opportunity because like so many people are tied down with work and they have to make this much money and they're just getting by, or they've been in the company for 10 years, or like I have a mortgage, but I have like all this freedom in some ways. Like my expenditures are very low right now, but it's kind of a neat thing because then I can like look on different areas of my life and decide what's most important to me, and then I can base decisions about how I'm going to work and what I'm going to do and how I'm going to be spending my time and making money all at the same time, like based off of my values. So that's what I've been doing with my time and my years, is just like centering myself back into who I am and what's most important to me, like my deep root desires of life, like my family, the sunshine, like good food, like a free place to roam, a house that's like large enough that we can afford, and just different things like that that are really important to me. So yeah, it's been like 6 years, I think, now since we've left, and we've taken, my parenting is another huge thing change, like gigantic. I was like really strict and like very, oh, you can't do this, you do that. Like, it was very intense the way I parented. It was like, there was like no room for my kids to like be kids, basically. So from there, I'm like totally in a different ballpark now, where I totally respect who they are, what they love, who they are. Like, I'm trying to recognize them for like their essence instead of like what their behaviors. Really just putting a different emphasis on how I parent my children, and what I see in them, and how I respond to their needs and their desires. And it's so, I mean, I'm not, oh my, there it goes. I'm by far not perfect parent, that's for sure, but I've learned so much, and I have a lot more to learn, so that's keeps me going and makes me want to learn more. And you're not eating that, are you? Are you eating it? No. Okay, good. You good boys. So yeah, so that's what's been going on these past 6 years. It's definitely not been an easy journey. I mean, I have 3 kids now, doing it by myself, have been pretty much the whole time, and see no end to that. And yeah, so my time is limited in some ways, but I really think that this is a great opportunity right now in life in general to be more creative as far as like how you make money and how you can make money. And I mean, the online world is just like blown up in the last years, so I'm really excited myself to get into that world, and I appreciate y'all's support. And thanks for watching. Check out my other videos, give me a like and a subscribe, and we'll chat to you again. Bye. Want to say bye? Say bye.